I used to spend 3 hours writing client proposals. Last Tuesday, AI wrote one in 47 seconds. The client signed it that same afternoon. Here's the exact workflow. If you freelance, consult, or run any kind of service business, you know the pain. A potential client says, "Send me a proposal." And suddenly your evening's gone, writing scope descriptions, building pricing tables, formatting terms and conditions, making it all look professional. A recent Pioneer survey found that freelancers spend an average of 7 hours a week on admin tasks. Proposals, invoices, contracts, follow-ups. That's almost a full working day every week you're not getting paid for. Here's what most people don't realize: AI tools have gotten really good at business documents. Not just fill in a template good. Actually good. They understand project scope, they suggest realistic pricing structures, and they format everything so it looks like you hired a designer. The days of copying last month's proposal and swapping out the client name are over. I tested 4 different approaches: Prospero, Honeybook's AI features, Bonsai, and a custom Claude prompt. Each one with the same project: a website redesign for a local bakery, 5 pages, custom design, mobile responsive, online ordering integration. Same brief, 4 different tools. Let me show you what happened. Pause. Let's start with Prospero because it blew my expectations away. I typed in the basics: website redesign for a bakery, 5 pages, custom design, mobile responsive, online ordering integration, 6-week timeline. Prospero generated a full proposal in about 30 seconds. And it wasn't a generic template with my words jammed in. It created an executive summary that actually explained why a redesign matters for a bakery: foot traffic, online orders, local SEO. It broke the project into phases: discovery, design, development, testing, launch. Each phase had its own timeline and deliverables. The pricing section offered 3 tiers: basic, standard, and premium. This is a classic sales psychology move because it anchors the client's expectations and usually pushes them toward the middle option. Nobody wants the cheapest, nobody needs the most expensive. The terms and conditions section included revision limits, payment schedules, intellectual property clauses, and even a kill fee provision. Total time from typing to finished proposal, 47 seconds. I spent another 10 minutes tweaking the pricing to match my actual rates, adjusting a few scope details, and adding a personal note about why I was excited about the project. But the heavy lifting, the structure, the language, the formatting, the legal terms, all done. That's a 3-hour task reduced to 10 minutes of editing. Pause. Now, Honeybook takes a different approach. It's a full client management platform, and the AI proposal feature lives inside that ecosystem. You create a project, describe it, and Honeybook generates a proposal that connects directly to their contract signing and payment processing. The proposal quality was solid, not quite as detailed as Prospero's, shorter executive summary, simpler scope breakdown, but the integration is the selling point. Client signs the proposal, it automatically creates a contract, sets up payment milestones, sends reminder emails, and adds everything to your project timeline. No copy-pasting between tools, no manual data entry. If you're already using Honeybook for client management, adding AI proposals is a no-brainer. Bonsai is the freelancer's Swiss Army knife, and their proposal tool is practical. I entered the same bakery project details. Bonsai generated a clean proposal, a bit more straightforward than Prospero's, less narrative, more bullet points. Some freelancers will prefer that. Clients who just want to see deliverables and pricing won't mind the lack of prose. Where Bonsai really shines is the invoice side. After a project, I described what was completed: Phase 1 website redesign, discovery and wireframes, 20 hours at $125 per hour. Bonsai created a detailed invoice with line items, applied my standard payment terms, and even calculated the tax. But here's where it gets interesting. Let me show you what Claude can do with a good prompt. Pause. I gave Claude this prompt: act as a freelance business consultant. Create a detailed project proposal for a website redesign for a local bakery. Include an executive summary, project scope with 5 pages plus online ordering, phased timeline over 6 weeks, 3-tier pricing with a budget around 5 to 8,000, payment terms, and 2 revision rounds. Claude's output was the longest and most detailed of all 4. It included things the dedicated tools missed, a competitor analysis section, a maintenance and support addendum, and even suggested upsells like SEO optimization and social media integration. The writing quality was the best by far. The catch? No formatting, no design, no e-signature integration. It's a wall of well-written text that you'd need to paste into a Google Doc or Canva template. That takes an extra 15 to 20 minutes of formatting work. But if you already have a proposal template you like, Claude basically writes the entire document for you. And here's a trick: you can save your best Claude-generated proposal as a reference and tell it follow this format for all future proposals. It gets better the more context you give it. For invoices, I gave Claude my completed project details and asked for a professional invoice. It created clean line items, calculated totals, applied the right tax rates when I specified my state, and included payment instructions with bank details and PayPal options. Everything you need. Copy it into your invoice template and send. I've actually built a reusable Claude prompt that generates my invoices in about 20 seconds now. Let me be real about the limitations here. Every AI-generated proposal needed human editing. Pricing was the big one. The AI doesn't know your rates, your market, or your client's budget. Prospero suggested $3,000 for the basic tier, which would be way too low in New York and way too high in a small rural town. You have to set your own numbers. The scope descriptions were sometimes too generic. Phrases like modern, user-friendly design are filler. I replaced those with specifics: mobile-first layout matching your Instagram aesthetic, with a sticky header for the online ordering button. That's what wins clients: specificity. Pause. Also, proposals close deals because of trust, not just formatting. If your entire proposal is AI-generated with 0 personal touches, a savvy client might notice. The language can feel a bit too polished, a bit too corporate. I always add a paragraph about why I'm specifically excited about their project and reference something specific from our discovery call. I loved your idea about integrating the seasonal menu directly into the ordering flow. Hits different than we will build a modern, user-friendly website. That human element still matters. It's what separates you from the next freelancer who also used AI. For invoices, the tools are way more reliable since invoices are formulaic by nature: line items, hourly rates, project totals, payment terms, due dates. There's less room for AI to go off the rails. It handles that perfectly almost every time across all 4 tools. One more thing: if you're sending proposals for projects over $10,000, invest the extra time in custom writing. The AI draft is still your starting point, but high-value proposals deserve more polish, more research into the client's business, and more specificity about outcomes. Here's my recommendation based on testing all 4. If proposals are your biggest time sink and you want the fastest path from brief to signed deal, Prospero's your best bet. $29 a month, and it's dedicated to doing one thing well. If you want an all-in-one client management system, HoneyBook handles proposals, contracts, invoices, and payments in one place for $39 a month. If you're already using Bonsai for contracts and time tracking, their proposal tool is solid and it's included in your plan. And Claude? It's the most flexible and cheapest option. $20 a month gets you unlimited proposals, invoices, emails, contracts, anything you can describe. You just need your own templates for formatting. Whatever you pick, stop spending 3 hours on proposals. Your billable time is worth more than that. If you want to see my exact Claude prompt template for proposals, I'll pin it in the comments. And if you're curious how AI handles client contracts next, hit subscribe.